in this video we are going to see how we can remove the ambiguity from ambiguous grammar. Okay, so for that we have four different methods as mentioned here. The first method is by adding the precedence and associativity rules in the grammar. Second, by fixing the grammar. Third, by adding the group rules. And fourth, by using the semantics. Particularly in this video, we are going to see how we can remove the ambiguity from the ambiguous grammar of arithmetic expression. So when we are talking about the ambiguous grammar of arithmetic expression, we are going to use this method of precedence and associativity rules to remove the ambiguity. Okay, so when we use this method of associativity and precedence rules, we need to apply the two different kind of constraint on the ambiguous grammar in order to remove the ambiguity from it. Okay, so first is the precedence constraint. Okay, so in both of these constraints we have a few rules, and by applying these rules on the given grammar we can remove the ambiguity. Okay, so we will see both of the constraint one by one. So first is a precedence constraint. So the rules of this precedence constraint is defined that when we have any grammar, for example, let's take this is ambiguous grammar of arithmetic expression. So grammar is e to e plus e, e minus e, e star e, e divided by e and id. Okay, this grammar is an ambiguous grammar. We have already discussed in the previous video that ambiguous grammar means for any string in a language, to derive that string, if the grammar is generating more than one parse tree or if it has a more than one derivation step, we can call that grammar as a ambiguous grammar. Okay, so over here this is ambiguous grammar. If we take any string like id plus id and star id, if this is a string, so to derive this string from the given grammar we have two options. Either we can start with plus or either we can start with the second option, that is e star e. So possibly we have two derivation steps and two parse tree possible here. Okay, so this is the ambiguous grammar. Now to remove this ambiguity, first we need to apply the precedence constraint on this grammar. Okay, so let's see the rules. So the first rule states that the level of the precedence is define the priority of operators. Okay, so level of the productions defines the priority of operator. So it means that before we start rewriting the grammar, we have to think about the precedence of the operators. Okay, and the level of that production will define the precedence of the operator. It means that over here, for example, we have a four operators: plus, minus, star, divide, and along with that we have a operand called identify. Okay, so we have to define the precedence of these operators. Okay, so we know that the star, the highest precedence is obviously of id. Then we have a next precedence operator is star and divide, and lastly we have plus and minus. Okay, so the precedence of operator is in this way: id has highest precedence, then star and divide, and lastly plus and minus. So first rule states that when we rewrite a production, the level of a production will define the priority of operators. Second, higher the level of a production, lower the priority of operator. It means that when we rewrite the production, so let's rewrite the production. So we have starting symbol e, so let's start with e. Now this rule, the first rule states that we should have a different level of productions. Okay, because the major problem over here is all these operators are at the same level. Okay, from E itself we have all these options, and that's the reason the plus and the star is, there is a dilemma while the tree is generated for this particular expression. Okay, so to overcome to that dilemma, we need to define grammar into a different level, the productions with the different level. Okay, so the second rule defines that there should be a levels. The second rule defines that the higher level of production lower the priority of operator, and the lower the level of production higher the priority of operator. In simple, the operator with the highest precedence should come at the lowest level, and the operator with the lowest precedence should come at the highest level. So over here we have a plus and minus, so they should come at the higher level. of production, and star and divide will come after that. So second level, and this is the third level. Again I am repeating, the precedence of operator is used to define the level of a production. The operators with the highest precedence should come at the lowest level, and the operator with the lowest precedence should come at the first level. So when we rewrite the production, we have, over here we have to think about the operators with the lowest precedence, and they should come at the first level. Okay, so we have plus and minus. So we will write the two production plus and or we have a minus. Okay, so we have take these two operator at the first level. Okay, now second, we need to define a labels. Okay, so we need a new non-terminal by which we can jump to the next level. Okay, or that can be used to move to the next level. So for that, let me introduce a new non-terminal called T. Okay, so using T, we jump to the next level. Now at the next level, we would be having the second lowest precedence operator. So among all the four, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, the next lowest level precedence is divide and star. Okay, why plus and minus come at the same level? Because they have the same precedence. Okay, similarly, star and divide have the same precedence, so they will come at the another next level. Same. Lastly, we need to jump to the next level. So we have used the new non-terminal F, and from F, finally we have the identifier. Okay, so now we have rewritten the grammar in such a way that instead of having all the operators at the same level, we have defined the operators at the different level of production based on their precedence. Okay, so that is what the precedence constraint define. Okay, now we will see the associativity constraint. So second is the associativity constraint. Now over here also I cannot write E plus E and E minus E. Okay, otherwise we cannot jump to the next level. So we have introduced new non-terminal T. It means that over here we would be having T somewhere. Okay, so for that we have to think about the associativity constraint. So first, one non-terminal that we have to repeat on right hand side of the production is E. Over here it is T. But then another one that we need to use is this T. Okay, but on which side we have to use T, and for that we will use the associativity constraint. So the constraint defines that if the operator is left associative, then introduce a new non-terminal on the right hand side. Okay, so we know that plus and minus, star and divide, all are left associative. Okay, left associative means if these operators are at the same level in arithmetic expressions like A plus B plus C, okay, then left hand side of operator would be evaluated first, okay, because plus is a left associative. Say if I have A plus B minus C, so plus and minus have the same precedence but both are left associative, so left hand side addition would be evaluated first, okay, that is a left associativity. So plus, minus, star and divide are left associative. So we have to introduce, according to rule, if the operator is left associative, we have to introduce a new non-terminal on right hand side. So T we have to introduce on right hand side. So let's write T. Okay, same way star and divide are left associative, we have to introduce it on right hand side. So F. And on left hand side the variable, the same non-terminal will remain as it is. Okay, so this is what the associativity constraint. If the operator is left associative, introduce a new non-terminal on a right hand side. If the operator is right associative, introduce a new non-terminal on a left hand side. We know the operator called power. Okay, it is right associative. So if there is some grammar where the power is there, which is right associative, in that case we have to introduce a new non-terminal on a left hand side. Okay, so this is how these rules are used. Now this is unambiguous grammar for this ambiguous grammar of arithmetic expression. Now we will try, because over here first we have seen that using this grammar we get the 2 tree. Okay, but now let's see whether how much tree we get to generate this string. Okay, so first we have E. So E2. Now over here, see, we have E, two option only, plus, minus and T. Okay, so first I cannot go with T, okay, because with T I cannot get anything. So we have to start with E2, E plus T. Okay, then we have star. Okay, so now we want to derive star, ID star ID. Okay, so that we can derive from T2, E star and F. Okay, now this E2T, this T2F and F2 ID. Similarly, E2T, T2F and F2 ID. Finally, F2 ID. This is how we get ID plus ID star ID. Okay, so this is how we get a single tree or only one possible derivation for the given string from the given grammar. Okay, so this is how the ambiguity can be removed from arithmetic expression, from the ambiguous grammar of the arithmetic expression. Now the question is, there is one common question like, what happens if we introduce this t instead of on a right hand side? What happens if we introduce it on a left hand side? If we write E2 T plus E, T minus E and T, what happens if it is a case? So let's take one more example. If I have a string called ID plus ID plus ID, if this is a string, okay, and if I want to derive this string from this production rule, okay, so in that case E2 T plus E and again T2 E2 T plus E T2F F2 ID, this T2F F2 ID and E2T T2F and F2 ID. So we can see over here is the right hand side of ID plus ID, okay, is come at the lowest leaf node. Okay, it comes to the lowest leaf node, so they would be evaluated first. And actually the plus is a left associative, so left hand side of plus should be evaluated first. Okay, but if we write t on left hand side, in that case the tree which is generated is this, where this right hand side of plus is evaluated first. Okay, so it will give the wrong tree. Okay, so this is wrong. Okay, same, instead of plus you can use minus, so you will get that first minus would be evaluated and then the addition will be done. Okay, so that is a problem. So when we rewrite the unambiguous grammar, we have to think about the precedence and associativity, and using that only we can go with the correct unambiguous production rules to derive a string. Okay, similarly we can apply the same rule on any other grammar, including clean closure and or. Okay, so this, I hope there is no doubt in this video. Thank you.